I'm Amanda Leitner, and welcome to Rochester Rising, where we amplify the stories of Rochester entrepreneurs. Welcome to episode 192 of the podcast today. So today on the show, I got to sit down via Zoom with Anjali, Donthi, and Sarah Bulur, two members of CASP Technologies. CASP Technologies is a team of Rochester middle school and high school friends who came together during Technovation to solve a problem they saw in the community. Technovation is a 12-week program for girls to solve a problem they see by developing an app, and no coding experience is required prior to the program. Today, we talk with Anjali and Sarah about CASP Technologies and their first product, an app called Operation Serenity. Operation Serenity is intended for the 15 to 18-year-old pediatric surgery patients, and it's really meant to provide a more clear visualization of surgeries to help prepare patients for that process and reduce fear and anxiety due to the upcoming surgery. So we had a great conversation on the podcast today about Operation Serenity, the process to build out the app, the team's journey through Technovation, as well as their journey through Minnesota Cup, where they were finalists in the youth division and came in on third place, which was announced on September 3rd by Minnesota Cup. So stay tuned today for a great conversation with Anjali and Sarah from CASP Technologies. You can find more Rochester Rising podcast talking about Rochester entrepreneurs. Every Wednesday, a new episode comes out. You can find them on our website at rochesterrising.org. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I also want to let people know that our podcasts come out every Wednesday as well on YouTube. So we have our own playlist in the Rochester Rising YouTube channel for the Rochester Rising podcasts. So if you prefer to listen in to your podcast content on YouTube, you can check us out there and make sure that you are subscribed and that you like our videos on YouTube so that you never miss any of our podcasts that come out. A reminder that we are the storytelling arm of Collider, which is a Rochester-based nonprofit that supports Rochester entrepreneurs through space education, storytelling, and events. You can find more about Collider at collider.mn. And we now also have a second podcast called Ecosystem North that comes out every Friday, sharing the stories of entrepreneurial ecosystem builders and why they're driven to do that work. So you can find that as well wherever you listen into podcast content. All right, so now on to the podcast today with Anjali and Sarah of CASP Technologies, talking about their new app, Operation Serenity. Thanks to both of you for joining me today over Zoom. And maybe just to start so people know who's talking, can both of you introduce yourselves?
I'm Anjali Donthi. I'm the CPO for CASP Technologies.
And hi, I'm Sarah Bulur, the CTO of CASP Technologies.
Well, I'm so excited to talk to you ladies today. So I wanted to start off kind of talking about CASP. So can you tell me a little bit about your team and how you ladies kind of found each other and came together as a group?
We all went to the same school together, so we were kind of school friends. I know Sarah and our other teammate Caitlin used to play soccer together, and then me and Sarah were school friends as well. And then our other team member Payton, she has been a part of the Technovation board. So I was also a part of that. So that's how me and Payton kind of met, and so she joined our team as well.
So CASP is kind of the team name, and then you have your first product, Operation Serenity. So can you talk a little bit about what Operation Serenity is and how someone would use that?
Okay, so basically our app is intended for pediatric surgery patients aged 8 to 15, but pretty much anyone who really is feeling the need for this app can use it. But basically what the problem we were trying to solve is that there's so many youth out there, like almost 3 million that receive surgery every year, and almost like 60% of them, so like around 2 million, like feel significant fear and anxiety about their surgery, and this can cause like complications or like negative results for their surgery outcome. So we wanted to kind of help this problem by creating an app that provides them a clear visual. We did talk to some employees at Mayo Clinic, and they mentioned that there is some preparation that happens before surgery, but what they lack is a clear visual of the surgery beforehand, since some videos tend to be too graphic for children to watch and things like that, so they don't have like a clear model or anything to show. So that's how we kind of came up with the idea of doing a surgery simulation and showing the kid like, oh, this is exactly how your, like, I guess some steps of your surgery is going to happen. And yeah, and then also we knew that local help and support is also a big thing for children. So we include information about local support groups, hospitals, and clinics, so they can get like community help and support if they ever need it. And this is also a good feature for families, like parents and stuff. Like if they like need some emotional support about their child, they can also use that. But it is intended mainly for children aged 8 to 15. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think especially if you've never had a surgery before, it's a very like scary experience if you don't know what to expect, and even if you do know what to expect. So, education is so powerful. Is the app, so as far as like helping visualize surgeries, do you have specific types of surgeries that the app can help with, or is it kind of general, this is what to expect when you'd be admitted to the hospital type of visualizations?
Yeah, like our prototype, we started out with a specific tonsillectomy surgery, but the past few months we kind of decided that for our next version of the app, our 2.0 version, we'd stick to a more general kind of, I guess, like steps of a surgery. So like more like the administration of anesthesia or surgical incisions or the insertion of an IV like needle and stuff like that. So that way it can reach more kids who need the help. And also, since like surgery procedures are always evolving, changing because of the release of new technologies, or like different surgeons having different ways of or different methods of doing the same surgery. So we decided to do that. That's more common in general and can, I guess, hit all the children who need it.
So you talked about the problem already, but as a team, have you had experience with this problem, or what was kind of the emotional draw to this particular problem of pediatric surgery and having more comfort with that?
So yeah, one of our co-founders did have like a tonsillectomy surgery when she was younger. So that's when we kind of like realized how big of a problem it was, because when talking with our co-founder, she was mentioning that she was like feeling scared, terrified, and unprepared for her surgery. So that's what kind of drew us into the idea. As well as we're two of us are current student volunteers at the Mayo Clinic. So we get to see patients on a daily basis and interact with them, as well as employees. So we saw like some pediatric surgery patients, like we just saw the kind of attitude they were going into their surgery, and we wanted to be there for them and find some way where we can like help them get the most positive and as best of an experience they can get out of it.
So did your team come together for Technovation, right?
Yes, we came together for Technovation.
Okay. So for people who aren't as familiar with Technovation, can you talk a little bit about what Technovation is and kind of what that process is like for girls in the community who are interested in it?
Yeah, so I'm actually a student ambassador for Technovation. So basically, what Technovation is, it's like a 12-week program where girls can come together and solve a community problem by developing an app. So you don't have to be good at coding. You don't need to know anything about like business-related stuff or technology, because Technovation offers mentors and clear lessons where you can learn how to code or learn how to write a business plan. So it's an amazing program where you can solve literally any problem that you can think of with an app. So basically at the end of the 12-week season, there is an event called Appapalooza, at least in Minnesota it is, where the teams pitch their ideas in front of judges. So then after that, there's like, I guess like a judges vote and they decide like who makes it to the next round. And then after that, there's like a semifinals round and then a global level where teams can actually end up going to San Francisco, I believe, and pitching their app over there. And they get to interact with like some big companies and things like that. I know like a few years ago, a team from Minnesota did end up going to globals. They got to meet the Vice President of the United States, and they also got to go to the White House Science Fair, I believe. So that was really exciting for them.
Yeah, that's very cool. Not many people get to go to the White House or meet the Vice President.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So how would people get connected with Technovation in kind of Rochester? Like, when does that program start? When do they need to sign up by?
Well, I guess this program starts in around January, but I would start getting in contact with people in December, just because you want to be a little bit ahead of the game, since you have to like form your team, find your mentors and things like that. It just makes it easier if you get all that started before January when the season does start. So we do have some board members in Rochester that you could contact, or your school teachers. They might have some ideas. We were connected with several schools in the Rochester and Southeast Minnesota area. If you log into the technovationchallenge.org website, you can see your regional ambassador. You can get connected with them, or you can also reach out to me and I'd be happy to help. So yeah, I can provide my email if necessary.
So I got ahead of myself a little bit, but I wanted to go back to, so you came together as a team with this idea during Technovation. You said you're on version 2.0. Can you talk a little bit about the process to build out the app and the solution? So how many iterations did you go through? What was it like to talk to customers and get that feedback? What was kind of your process?
Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. So we started off in like around January. We were kind of thinking about what problems to solve. So there's like a space in Rochester that is amazing for like startup businesses. They have like whiteboard walls. So we basically fill up the entire wall with like ideas of what apps to do and things like that, what problems there are. And then we narrow them down. And then after that, we kind of like write down some features, and we do interviews with like patients and medical professionals during that time and see what they're kind of looking for in an app and how this can help them. So we do the interviews and things, and then we start developing the app with the help from our mentors. So that usually takes a few months of time because it depends like how complicated the features are and things like that. So after that, we kind of show our app after it's like maybe most of the way completed, at least, to the same people we interviewed before, just to show them like our progress and see if everything's to their liking and things like that. And then, yeah, I guess we like start our business plan during that time as well. And around April, we usually finish up everything. So yeah, and then we pitch our ideas at Technovation, and then we usually work on our business plan and company like goals and things like that, like KPIs during the summer just to like forward our business. So that's what we did this summer. We really got started on like forwarding our business. We were looking for some funding, some partners. So we got in touch with a few people on that. So that's kind of what we did.
Cool. So when you were talking with potential customers, you know, when you're talking to them, you're testing your guesses, right? So was there anything that came out of those interviews that were really surprising that you didn't expect that caused you to have to rethink what you were doing? Or what was kind of the most surprising that you heard from people?
I guess it was the lack of visuals that there were. When going into surgery, I kind of expected like you would be fully prepared, like you would, like I personally haven't gotten a surgery before, so that was new to me. But I think that was the most surprising thing, that there needed to be like some sort of model or way to show at least steps of a surgery. And then the other one was the local help and support. Like when talking to some organizations in Rochester, like we saw that support groups can really help a family and the patient especially when going through like a hard time, like a surgery. So when we talked to some of our, like, I guess like first time users who were like user test or giving us user feedback, they kind of mentioned that this would be a good feature to have, the local help and support. So we did go ahead and do like a feature where it shows information about like your local support groups, hospitals, and clinics.
So now you're in the final round of Minnesota Cup, right? So can you talk about how did you get into the Minnesota Cup? Was it an application process? Was it through Technovation? So how did that originally happen?
So I was part of the Minnesota Cup a few years ago when I helped in creating the app called Bridge. So with that app, we ended up having the highest score in like Technovation Minnesota, so that immediately qualified us for MN Cup semifinals. So that's how I kind of got involved with it, and I really loved the process, like where we were able to like communicate with both our Technovation mentors and the MN Cup mentors, and really like fine tune our product and go forward with our business and things like that. So that I really loved that process. So after that, we kind of like went ahead and participated in it like yearly.
Can you talk about like, you know, you go from Technovation to Minnesota Cup. So what have the different rounds been like of Minnesota Cup, and what have you had to kind of accomplish at each stage as compared to kind of Technovation and what you did there? So what's the difference between the two?
Well, I would say that Technovation is a very good program, but I would say that it doesn't go into as much detail as MN Cup does. Like, obviously, you have to create your app and your business plan and stuff, but we were still like middle and high school girls who are doing this. So obviously, it's not going to be as good as like, let's say, a $5 million companies. So in MN Cup, you really have to step up your game and like create a business plan and a product that they believe that will do well. So like during the summers, usually when we prepare for MN Cup, we usually just like try to do things that will help our company move forward, such as like finding funds or like partners, and like really improving our business goals and hitting them, and also I guess like working on our business plan and stuff as well. So yeah.
So you're in the student division, right, or the youth division? I can't remember.
Yeah, we're in the youth.
Youth division. Okay. So when will you hear your decision about the final round?
I'm not sure when it's going to be released to the public yet. I'm assuming.
Have you gone through the steps yet, I guess?
Oh yeah, we've gone through the steps of MN Cup. So I think the season's pretty much done. We're just waiting for the awards ceremony on September 22nd.
All right. Exciting. So we'll wait to hear from MN Cup what happens. So yeah, I'll circle back as we're kind of wrapping up. So the Operation Serenity app, is there a version live now? And if so, where can people get it?
It's not yet live. We were planning on maybe releasing the prototype like this coming weeks in September. But we do plan on creating a 2.0 version, and that will be released around next October. So you can follow us on like our social media, and we'll keep everyone like updated on like our progress and like when you can like sign up immediately or to download the app. So.
And now it's back to school time. Are you both back in school yet, or has school not started?
Yes, our school starts tomorrow, so that's exciting.
Well, I'm glad I got to talk to you on your last day of summer. I'm sure you really wanted to do this on your last day, so I appreciate it. Awesome. Well, that was my last question for both of you. Do you have any final thoughts or anything else I didn't ask you that is important to the story of the CASP team and Operation Serenity that you can think of?
I guess you can follow us on our social media at Operation Serenity for Instagram, and on Facebook it's Operation Serenity app. And then as well, like if you have any questions about the app or features, you can contact us at opserenityapp@gmail.com. So it's opserenityapp@gmail.com. So yeah.
Well, thanks so much to both of you for being here today and sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much to Anjali and Sarah for taking time to be on the podcast on their very last day of summer. I greatly appreciate their time and sharing their story. You can find out more about Operation Serenity and Technovation through the links in our bio. We're always looking for great sponsors for this podcast, so if our mission to amplify the stories of Rochester entrepreneurs aligns with that of your business or organization, let us know. You can fill out a sponsor request form for more information on our website at rochesterrising.org, or you can also send us an email at rochesterrising@gmail.com for more information. All right, that's a wrap for the podcast today. Be sure that you are subscribed wherever you prefer to listen into your podcast content so that you never miss a story of entrepreneurship and innovation coming out of Rochester, Minnesota. We'll see you here next week with a brand new episode.